all night long, but not too soon. I worship the moon. I worship the moon. My knees fall weak, my heart does swoon. I worship the moon. I worship the moon. Through the streets, back to me, falling eyes.
Woo! Welcome to the show, everyone. Welcome to the show. Thank you all so much for joining me. This is very nice. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. This is Thoughts on Bots, Talking Bots, bot thoughts, whatever you'd like to call it. This is Thoughts on Bots right now with Geartooth Red Jefferson. That's me, Geartooth Red Jefferson, and it's the finals, the finale of BattleBots. That works. So exciting. So exciting. Very into this night. A lot of twists and turns. A lot of twists and turns and a lot of things I don't like, but a lot of things I do like. I think we should start talking about the show. Yeah, I think we should. Make sure I have all my sound effects here.
Shush! Hush, please.
Daddy, chill.
Very good. We have all those. I would like to play before we start. I got a recent voicemail. Call the hotline, 201-574-7222. I'm sorry it's in that color. I have to fix that. But, yeah, I got a voicemail. I'd like y'all to hear it. Let's see. This is from Anonymous. It was given during my last BattleBot show.
Yeah, I got a question about these BattleBots. How do you remember all the little moves?
How do I remember them? How do I remember all the little moves?
It's not like you're sitting there taking notes.
I
Are
am.
you sitting there taking notes?
Yes.
If you are, it makes sense. It makes sense, then you would know all the moves. But it just seems like you should just play the footage. Like
I
play
can't.
the footage of the BattleBot.
I can't. It's
instead of,
copyrighted.
like reenacting the BattleBot battle with.
It's the best I could do.
With like
You son of a-
like a virtual.
I appreciate you listening,
piece,
though.
like little stickers, virtual stickers and whatnot. It seems like you're making it more complicated than it's got to be. I mean, half the fun of BattleBots is seeing the shit fall apart and being
I know.
destroyed. It just seems to me like you.
That is the
seems
fun
like you took all
part.
the fun out of BattleBots.
I'm taking the
Oh yeah, I'm hearing that you're missing the point of BattleBots.
I'm missing the point of
Like,
BattleBots. I know.
you enjoy battling, but you're not so keen on the bots.
Of course, I'm into the bots.
Not so keen on the bots. It seems like the bots are the second to the battle, which
I don't think that's true.
I'm cool with that. I guess I'm
I
cool
disagree.
With that, but I don't know. I just where's the? It seems like you're telling us what moves happen. Like you're just making.
Okay, we've had enough of this guy. But thank you so much for watching, though. I do appreciate you calling in. I like to hear your thoughts. And I want to hear why you're listening and things I could do to do better. But I cannot play BattleBots footage because they'll take me down. But you can sign a petition to get me on BattleBots. It's somewhere. We have to start talking about this night because this was a lot of things happening. Sound off in the chat if you have some comments or things to say. But let's get into it. Our first match of the night. Do we have any fun things here? I gotta have something. Okay. First match of the night. Let's get into it. Well, no, this is what I wanted. Here we go. SAWBLAZE versus RIPTIDE. Here we are. SAWBLAZE versus RIPTIDE. SAWBLAZE run by Jameson Go. It's a hammer saw with a fiery thing in there. It's really good, and he drives it so well, and he's looked unstoppable this season. With one mistake coming from Endgame when he kind of showed his side. We'll talk about that later. Facing RIPTIDE, it's this egg beater drum spinner, and they're rookie bot that started doing really well, surprisingly well. Let's see how this match goes. This is the first part of the night. This is the quarterfinals. So they go in. SAWBLAZE gets immediately underneath and flips over poor RIPTIDE almost immediately. SB pushes, SAWBLAZE, I'm using my shorthand, pushes them into the walls, pushes them all around the box, can't get a good hit in just yet. Then RT, which is Riptide, they right themselves, right? But then they get another hit, they get some good hits back and forth for a second, but then they get another hit that causes them to go onto their side and get stuck. They get stuck on their side, and then SAWBLAZE takes the win there. And I get it. I get taking the win when they get stuck on the side. I'm not mad at that. I think they did a good job of driving. I think Jameson Go was aggressive. I think Riptide did the best they could. But those forks, when Jameson Go is enthused, they're deadly. But I did give it just 1.5 gears. Where's my gear sounds? 1 gear and a half. I don't want to say that this is like a great, but I don't think it was a great way to start the night, to be honest. But hey, you know what? To each his own. Next up, we're gonna go with COBALT versus Tantrum. COBALT versus Tantrum, and I had some high hopes for COBALT here. COBALT, driven by Matt Maxim. It's this vicious vertical disc spinner. Used to be run by a UK team, hence the Union Jack on there. They're going up against a Tantrum here, formerly run by Aaron Hill, who now operates or captains BLIP. It's run by Ginger and Alex. Ginger Schmidt and this guy named Alex. And we'll talk about Tantrum a lot tonight. We're going to talk about Tantrum a lot. But let's just talk about this match first off. They dance around each other for a fair bit. They're trying to find the best way to get in. Tantrum's being very careful, and COBALT's looking for that big hit on the get-go. The issue is because they're not as versatile, they're not as mobile, they're not as agile as Tantrum, and they kind of had their forks up front. They kind of had they're on a what is it called? A fulcrum, but they're basically able to go up and down. But they should have been able to like stick to the ground. What Matt Vasquez one time did is he put elastic bands to keep them against the ground, and which is what should have happened here. But they kept flipping up, which caused Tantrum to be able to get underneath and then just beat up those forks. And then once those forks were beat up, there's no chance COBALT was going to get them on to get underneath. And then they just push them around, push them right into a wall, right over here. And then they use their puncher, knock COBALT right out of the ring. We get Tantrum being the winner. So they're moving on. They're moving on to the winner of the next match here. Next match, which is a flipper against flipper, launcher against launcher. You have Hydra versus BLIP. Hydra versus BLIP. Hydra, run by Jake Ewert. That's right over here. Let me show you Hydra, so everyone can see. Hydra's hydraulic flipper, and pretty vicious flipper. Destroyed Bronco in their last flipper on flipper battle. And they're going up against BLIP here. We have Redley697 in the chat. I missed the finale. Well, don't worry. I'm giving you all the updates right now. Thank you so much for joining the chat. Thank you so much. Wait,
hello there.
Thank you so much. BLIP, it's a different type of flipper. It's a fly switch, I think they call it. And it's run by Aaron Hill, formerly of Tantrum. And they were going to go flipper. But I'm telling you right now, I knew this earlier. I knew this last week. Oh, by the way, COBALT versus Tantrum, that's getting 4 gears. Definitely check out that match. Definitely check it out. But Hydra versus BLIP, I knew Hydra was going to have the advantage. Hydra is super low, and BLIP is just not as low. And it has to go further underneath Hydra to get the flip. All Hydra has to do is get that little tip in. Get the tip in. Yeah, so that's the story of this match. Just immediately starts flipping around poor COBALT, all around the box, gets them onto the upper deck, and then they kind of get stuck because one of their wheels was a little damaged, and they got those magnets, and they were just stuck to the top shelf. This match is getting 3 gears. If you like a real flip fest, if you like a real flipperoo, that's the one to watch. You have to check that out. Thank you all so much for joining, by the way. Love it. But yeah, Hydra wins this fight, the Battle of the Flippers. And it's deserved. By the way, I did not see Tantrum winning against COBALT. I don't know if anyone knew that, but I definitely didn't see that. Moving on. Minotaur versus Witch Doctor. We're on to the first heartbreak of the night. Redley697 says, Shoddy gotta get low. Thank you. You have to get low, and that's a good point, because you have to get low in order to get the advantage on these BattleBot shows. MINOTAUR, driven by Danny Fuentes. It's a drum spinner from Brazil, and I really wanted them to win. I think they had a real Cinderella story, even though they're kind of our sore losers sometimes. They're not the most sportsmanlike people, but they're really great bot, and I love it. Going against Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor's a real fan favorite of a lot of people. I think they're cool. It's this vertical disc spinner on this bot. And yeah, they drive really great driving tonight. But essentially what happens is MINOTAUR just kind of bullies Witch Doctor around. Pushes him around the box. They do get some good hits in. Definitely one really good hit against their wheel. But they basically, MINOTAUR is the one pushing, is the aggressor. And then at this one point, it's starting to do the gyroscopic like little dance it does, and it gets caught on the screws on the side, and then gets wound up in them, gets on the shelf, and then it lands back off the shelf, but its tire falls off. There's the tire, and as it's over in the corner, Witch Doctor gets stuck in the wall. You see. Then they stop the fight. And now I really wish that they did. I don't know. I really wanted them to stop the fight for good, like they did in that one COBALT versus Whiplash match, and then just award it to MINOTAUR. But they didn't do that because they got Witch Doctor unstuck. They restart the fight. Witch Doctor's winding around here. She's just throwing around. MINOTAUR is basically doing that like crab walk thing, where it kind of scooches forward, but it is making advanced movement. It's going forward. So much so that Witch Doctor is avoiding it. How is that not controlled movement if Witch Doctor is evading the movement? MINOTAUR kept advancing, and Witch Doctor kept leaving. And they're arguing with the refs, and then Witch Doctor's like, why aren't they counting them out? Because they're still moving at you. And eventually, they just keep avoiding the rest of the fight, up until the very end when they go in for a hit, and they get hit back. Because they can't take the weapon-on-weapon blow. And it goes to the judge's decision. And they came back with a unanimous decision. I know what we're all thinking. It's MINOTAUR. No, it's not. Witch Doctor won. Because they broke the wheel, I think that they thought that was more damage. But the thing is, they were wrecking this fight. They were trying to say that that broken wheel, like it wasn't advanced movement. They were making forward movement. They were heading towards Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor was driving away from them. Does anyone else have a problem with this? It was a very fun match, though. It was a very fun match. And the drama before and after, a lot of fun. I'm giving it 4.5 gears. But yeah, gotta check out this match. But Witch Doctor's moving on. Moving on to the semifinals. Next up, we got Hydra versus Tantrum. Hydra versus Tantrum. And I thought this was going to be Hydra all day. Just tossing around Tantrum. We got Beep Beep in there. Who won? We're getting there. Beep Beep. Just wait a few more moments. But basically, what happened is Hydra just flipping around old Tantrum, flips him upside down for a second, then backside up. They're just keep getting flipped, and then what happens? They get the delay in the launcher. Like there's like that pause that happens afterwards, and Tantrum gets underneath that flipping mechanism, starts hitting it, breaks off the tip of the flipping mechanism. Not good, but still Hydra still gets more flips in. Dominated this fight throughout, and it goes to judge's decision, which is a split decision. And they have Tantrum winning. This is 2 wrong judges' decisions. Back to back. The Redley697 says, BattleBots needs more drama. If they had it my way, they would. Honestly, they should reach out to me. I could make it very dramatic. Redley697 says, if they're gonna continue to garner my attention, they'll garner your attention. You just have to give it a shot. Come on. But this match, with its faults, also gets 4.5 gears. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good match. Really saucy night A lot of drama. Don't know how much I agree with everything, but whatever. Next up, SAWBLAZE versus Witch Doctor. And I know what we're all thinking. SAWBLAZE run by Jameson Go against Witch Doctor versus Andrea Galately and Mike Galately. You know, it's going to go to SAWBLAZE because they've been so dominant this year. And how could they lose? Well, remember their first loss against Endgame. They showed their side. They could have won against Endgame. You just can't make that mistake. And Jameson Go made that mistake again in this match. Gave the side up. Witch Doctor took it. Woo! Let's get a flipping action. Woo! Flips it up in the air. And it loses a wheel. And that's all she wrote. Basically, Witch Doctor bullied it around for the rest of the time. Smashing it up. Knocking into its fuel cell. And setting it on fire. Witch Doctor wins. Witch Doctor definitely redeemed themselves from their questionable win against Minotaur. That's right, I said questionable win. But they do get a dominant win here over SAWBLAZE, which was cool to see. It was a good match, and I give it 4 gears. Excellent job. And now we're on to the main event. The final match of the evening. It is it. The finals. Tantrum versus Witch Doctor. We got Tantrum here. Aaron Hill's probably really regretting not sticking with Tantrum and instead going to BLIP this year, but he definitely wishes he was still on this team. But they still love him, obviously. They're going up against Witch Doctor, and it's really sweet because whoever wins is going to be, first thing, they're couple. I think they're couples. I think so. But either way, whoever it is wins tonight. They get to be the first win of the Giant Nut that's a female. Both female-led teams. Very positive stuff. Let's get a clap in here. It's really positive. The sport has definitely become much more diverse than in past years. But right now, this is the match. Let's talk about it because it's wonky. Tantrum gets underneath immediately. Gets underneath Witch Doctor immediately. And rips a piece of their armor off right underneath. Right underneath Witch Doctor, which causes it to be high-centered for the rest of the match. It can't drive for the rest of the match. But just Tantrum, just beating the shit out of it. Bam, 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 bam. Just destroying it. And what we get is Tantrum winning the Giant Nut. That's right, beep, beep, beep. Hope you're still around. Tantrum has won the Giant Nut. Tantrum has won the Giant Nut. Let's look at the bracket. So we did see Witch Doctor move on, SAWBLAZE move on. This was surprising. I thought it was going to be Minotaur versus SAWBLAZE. And honestly, I thought it was a clear path for SAWBLAZE to go to the top because they beat Minotaur already once. No one was shocked to see Hydra win versus BLIP. I was a little shocked to see COBALT go out, but we get Tantrum going further. And then in the finals, amazing win from Witch Doctor. A very hopped up win from Witch Doctor. And then we get Tantrum with a controversial win on Hydra. And then, honestly, just shocking. We got the Tantrum with the win. Let's look at my top bots. Think Beep 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 says yes. Redley697 says Witch Doctor is gonna throw a tantrum. They did. No one was happy. But I'm gonna give my top 3 bots of the night. Okay, top 3 bots of the night. They're gonna go to Witch Doctor is getting number 3. Why is it getting number 3 instead of number 2? Because I don't like how it won against Minotaur. That's right. I don't like how it won, but it did a good job tonight because they had a dominant win over SAWBLAZE. Makes up a little bit for it. But they lost pretty handedly to Tantrum. Next up, yeah, I'm going to go for it. Whatever. Minotaur. Second top bot of the night. That's right. Minotaur, because they should have won it. They had this game in the bag. And Witch Doctor didn't engage. They ran away from Minotaur. The rest of the match, not acceptable. And you know what? In their match against Tantrum, they got high-centered and they were crab walking. For another minute or so before that. So, yeah, I think there's a little bit of a little karma that way. That's what happens when you call yourself Witch Doctor. And I think the bot of the night has to go to the Giant Nut winner, Tantrum. Tantrum wins the top bot. Red's top bots. Red's top bots. As you can see with the crown there. Wow, what fun we had. Thank you all so much for joining. Thank you all so much for joining. Let's get to the main screen here. Boy, what a journey we've had these past few weeks. For just joining us, if you've just started watching tonight, I'm sorry. You missed out on a lot of fun these past few weeks, seeing the show grow. If you watched the first episode of Talkin' Bots or Thoughts on Bots or whatever you'd like to call it, it was far less high-tech. Did not look a quarter as good. Not as bright and shiny as it is now. I've had many people say it's very colorful. Very colorful. Thank you all so much for joining me. Please definitely check out Loserly's Wrestling. That's the parent channel of Thoughts on Bots. Please check us out. Check us out for wrestling news. A lot of wrestling news. Very exciting stuff. News and recaps and reviews. All the stuff right here on Loserly's Wrestling. Check out our bios too. Not our bios, but like our wrestler spotlights. A lot of fun. But thank you. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. This has been Bots on Thoughts, Thoughts on Bots, Talking Bots. With Red Jefferson, Gear Tooth Red Jefferson. Thank you all so much. Have a great one. Bye. Wait,